Hey, what's up, Steve? This is a not so quick demo video for you for your Scavenger saber by KR Sabers and your custom brass flagship. We'll go over the brass flagship first just because it's what I've got in my hand. This is installed with a CFX. It's got a Bluetooth module. You've got a Carl Chen PCB in here for your neopixel connector. This is a 2-button setup, so what I did is I gave you this main switch right here for your power, and then when you flip it around 180 degrees, you've got this 5mm brass tactile for your auxiliary. It doesn't stick up very far at all, but it's very easy to press with your finger. All right, and then how to get to your chassis is you just want to unscrew this handle. As you know from the pictures I sent you, we got your CFX in here. Easy access to your SD card, so plenty of room between the CFX board and the Bluetooth module to take out your SD card and put it back in. Very important to have access in between these two components. So that's what you've got right there. Okay, Bluetooth module. You got a removable battery setup, so spring side over here for your negative. A 28mm Smuggler's Outpost Elite speaker. And let's throw a battery in it real quick. All right. So we'll just take our battery, throw it right in. I got all of these sound fonts that you sent me, which was a total of 11. You sent me 10 sound fonts, but the dyad font from Chirophonic has 2 fonts. It's a Kylo and a Rey font. So you have a total of 11 fonts. The CFX versions, of course, are on the Saber, and the Proffie versions of those fonts are on the Scavenger that we'll go over here in a second. All right, so we'll just come over here and hit power. Auxiliary back here, right? Easy to press. And you do have twist on and twist off for the CFX. I'm going to use a test blade for this guy, but it is set up for a full-length neopixel blade. They both are. All right. This is a 1-inch diameter blade for this guy, and then also for the Scavenger. So we'll lock this down real quick. Your blade retention screw is right here. All right. Now, if you want to change sound fonts on this particular setup that I gave you, you don't have to go into the sound font menu. Just hold down the power and hit the saber.
At last we will have revenge.
Now we're to the next sound font. Blaster bolts is just tapping the auxiliary. Blade lockup is holding it down. So you could twist it on and then twist it off as well. Just like that. All right, we'll go over the Bluetooth functionality real quick. When you get this, you will need the this app right here called the ForceSync app. All right. My Bluetooth is off, so let me turn my Bluetooth on my phone on real quick, and then we'll start it over. It will search for a saber. You'll see this FSC BT909 pop up. Go ahead and click on that. Now what you don't see here is there will be a screen up here that it says pair, and it will ask for a password. You don't need a password, just hit pair. When you do that, you'll come to this screen. You've got several boards to choose from, but of course the first one is CFX, so just tap CFX. Bring to that, we'll go ahead and we'll come up here to remote control, and then from there, you know, without hitting the button on the saber, I can power it on, clash, do some swings, tip drag, lock up, turn it back off, turn it on again, and back off. So you can control the volume, you can do all kinds of stuff from there. All right, we'll go to another sound font.
I am a Jedi.
If you don't like this color, hold down the auxiliary and twist your wrist, you'll hear Spectrum, and now you can twist the saber to anything you want. If you like this, stop here and hit the power. Now we have a blue blade.
This is an N1 starfighter.
Find something else for this guy, maybe this one. One more time. One more. Very solid once it's all put together. And so on, just like that. So we'll go ahead and take the blade out of this one. Everything's working on this like it should. Pop that out real quick. CFX does have a deep sleep mode, but I would suggest just go ahead and coming in here and taking your battery out. You might need a tool. I'm using just the back of my tweezers to come over here from the positive side, which is up here by this threading, and just pop the battery out just like that. All right, you can take it out with your finger, and that's basically your flagship. So we'll put this off to the side and go over your Scavenger. Here is your Scavenger. Now this is installed with a Proffie. It's a one button setup, and that one button is here in the cog area. Okay, and I'll show you how to use that here in a second. You got a stock V3 in there for your neopixel connector. So we'll close that right there. Come over here and just twist this counterclockwise. You'll hear it pop, and then you can pull it right out. And when you pull this out, this is your chassis. Got your Proffie board right here. Again, easy access to your SD card and your micro USB. A copy of the config file that I used to program this is on the SD card. All right, you've got a KR speaker. This is basically the KR Saber's Proffie install kit with the Goth Eco chassis. All right, so we'll throw a battery in this guy too. Remember, the negative side of your battery is this leaf spring right here, and it goes over here by your speaker. So that's a leaf spring. Pop it in like that. Come over here and flip your kill switch.
Revenge is not the Jedi way.
I am no Jedi.
Now, when you put this in, you'll notice this groove right here, and then on the opposite side, you have another one of these rails. Those two rails are for the two screws right here at the end of the pommel. So you see that flathead there and that flathead screw there. It may be a little hard to see on camera, but they do stick into this inner diameter a little bit, and you have to line up those rails and the chassis with those screws. See that screw here lined up with that rail, right? And then once you do that, you can push this all the way in, come back over here and put your pommel on, push into the saber and turn clockwise, and it locks everything in. Now when you use this cog system, you have to be fast. All right, it's going to open a certain way. It just opens the pedals, but then on the very last part of it is the actual switch. If you do a long press on it, you're going to change sound fonts. If you do a short press, you'll just ignite it. And a double press like that will play your soundtrack. So a double press to play it, another double press to turn it off. So this can be a little bit finicky until you get used to it. Nice shine through all the way around your windows and here. Right, so real quick. And then you have twist off on this one too, which is super convenient. So you don't have to be stuck on that switch when you don't have to be. Now for your blade retention, you have 4 flathead screws up here. I can get in the light. You got 1, 2, 3, and 4 up here. One of them is 1 millimeter longer than the rest, and that's this guy right here. I colored it with a silver Sharpie so that you would know which one is the blade retention. All right, so only one of them right here is colored silver. The rest are black, so you know which one to back out a little bit. So we'll take a flathead screwdriver, back that guy out just a hair. Doesn't have to come out much, and you don't have to take it all the way out. Come over here and open your fins just enough to accept a 1-inch diameter blade, which is this guy. That will slide right in. Come down on those pins. And then lock your blade retention down. All right. Now your blade is locked in.
Wherever you are hard to find.
Long press on the switch changes sound fonts. Quick press on the switch turns the blade on. Long press, change sound fonts.
Gunji.
If you want blaster bolts, it's a quick tap on the switch when the blade's on. You can do it with your thumb if you're fast enough. If you want blade lockup, you're going to have to hold the switch down and hit the saber. On a full-length blade, and you have blade lockup engaged, when you have the saber like this, you'll see the blade lockup out here towards the tip of the blade, and then as you start moving the saber up like this, the blade lockup moves closer down to the emitter.
At last we will have revenge.
I went through when I was installing this and I oiled up the inside of the cog, so it is very easy to do with one finger or just your thumb if that's what you choose to do.
I am a Jedi.
Real quick, right?
He's been working on that thing for weeks. What kind of lightsaber could he possibly build with the junk we have laying around?
Staple sword. Nice blade lockup.
I wondered when you would return.
Temple guard, I believe. Unlight stable.
This is an N1 starfighter.
If you want to go back in sound fonts because you accidentally skipped one, hold it upside down and do that long press again.
This is an N1 starfighter.
That'll bring you back in the sound font menu. Ahsoka. Ignite again. just like that. All right, so we'll go ahead and we'll take the blade out of this guy too. While I'm thinking about it and I'm taking the blade out, I'll go ahead and put your blade plug back in. I got it right here in your box, and show you real quick that it has some nice shine through. Of course, this is the blade plug that came with your kit. All right, so we'll lock that down. Light it up real quick. Oh, plenty of shine through in that blade plug. Okay, well, when we're done, we'll just close these up. Come over here and pop this out. We can bring it out like this. Flip the kill switch and you can leave the battery in it. Or if you want to take the battery out, you can actually push it from up here next to the board, and that will help you pop that battery out a little bit like that, so you can just remove it with your fingers. All right, and that is your Scavenger, and of course your brass flagship. Let me know if that all makes sense to you, and I will get these out in the mail to you first thing Monday morning. Thanks, man.